Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Always down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
Still getting used to this old new system. Hi everybody. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's Friday. My God, I have been busy all fucking day. All day. And yeah, I know, Mike. They're there. They are in there today. I hope everybody is doing well. I have figured, oh look, you're touching them. Almost. This dress is not shiny. It has green in it. And, oh, Colin's going to bed. Good night, Colin. I am, oh, thank you, Casey Carey. So it's a dress. It's got green in it. The green is being pulled out by the chroma key, so it looks a little bit shiny, but I like it anyways. Thank you so much. So hold on, like, only for the really long ones do I need it to be that far out. Other than that, we are doing pretty darn good. So I want to talk to you guys about something today. Hi, Cheshire Cat. Hi, if there's a raid, welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Everybody move to the back. We have a raid coming in, and we need to make room. We are in for a ride tonight. I'm just gonna say it like that. I covered 3 different hearings today, each of them. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Colin. I know he's not feeling well. I'm glad that he was back on. Anyways, so I recorded, someone who isn't me recorded 3 different courts today. Each of those hearings were 2 hours long. They were each a separate entire case, jurisdiction, all that jazz. And so we have some good stuff coming up. We are going to start with the title that you saw on the thumbnail, the McKediacs, I think their last name is. And I haven't watched that one. One of them I had to watch while downloading it, and that is the one where the mom was the giggly diabetic mom. We'll watch that one tomorrow, most likely. But anyways, oh, now that Ed's here, and Hector's here, and Birdie, oh, Birdie's here too, and liked the video. I have less chest hair, probably, than Law Talk with Mike, huh? Anyways, so we gotta get going, because honestly, without further ado, it is indeed a long-ass hearing. I was going to, God, one of my boobs looks way bigger than the other. First of all, one of my boobs is way bigger than the other. We've talked about this many times before. I breastfed my daughter when she was younger, and she went on one side only for like a year, and it's resulted in a lasting issue. Regardless. Stop getting distracted by your boobs, Paisley. And you know where to find those, Mac. Or somebody will put the links in. Anyways, so let's get us going, because I popped into this one and I thought, oh, well, we'll do this other one. But from what I heard of this one, it's better. So it's a good start. Let's just say that. It's this guy and this lady. That's right. Cheshire Cat. I know. So I breastfed my daughter for 2.5 years. Here's the TMI part. I breastfed my daughter for 2.5 years. For the first year, she was just like fine. A year and a bit, she was fine being alternated on both sides. And then she like gave up, and she was very persistent. She was much more persistent than I was. So I let her do it for a year. Anyways, regardless. And you can tell which one. It's like this one's the bigger one. But okay, let's hit play. There's crying in most of these hearings, I think, today. At least a couple, like, freakouts I've seen.
You hear us now, ma'am?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. One moment, please, here to get the record open.
Ms. McKediak, would you join visually too?
Yes, I'm trying.
The 37th Circuit Court is now in session with the Honorable Brian K. Kirkham presiding. It is Friday, August 23rd, 2024 at 8:35 a.m. Court case number 2024-384DM, John McKediak versus Lindsay McKediak, attorney actually for the defendant.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
This is the time and place set for the trial in this matter. What will happen and what court reviewed and prepped all of the documents in this particular case.
Judge, before you get into that, let me say hi, Colin. First of all, look how good that looks. It looks so good. Secondly, thank you for the raid. I heard you're not feeling well. Please feel better soon, Colin. Secondly, was he with another girl? I don't think maybe he was. I don't know. Oh, when I do the boob check, it makes it look noticeably smaller. Yeah, because, well, if they know we can shapeshift, they'll tell the church.
The issues stated in the case scheduling order that we were going to address today were parenting time, property division, and spousal support. Court will let you know that obviously we're appearing virtually, but you are held to the same standards as if we were in court. And as a result, I want to state as well, each of you will have an opportunity multiple times to speak, so do not interrupt each other, do not interrupt any witnesses, unless you have a valid legal objection, and I will tell you, do not interrupt me.
That goes for everybody but me. I'm allowed to interrupt the judge. Oh, John got one. Crazy cat. Oh, look. Well, how many was that? I'm gonna count. John, Jeff, Anita, Crazy Cat, and Maeve. Woo! All 5 got given out. Thank you, NPC. Amazing. Oh my gosh. Why is there so many buttons and they're so close to each other? And they're always scaring me. Here. Look how good this looks. It says gift and it's all shiny at the bottom. Bam! Thank you. Do. She did look a little bit better. I didn't say it, but MB did. She looks like she looks like the Barbie that you fucked up and wiped all the face off of somehow, and then braided her hair anyways because you were bored. But in reality, you're never still happy. Like, you're not happy with it still. Oh! Yay! Cheshire Cat. Cheshire. That's how I say it. Look, it says gift. I love it. Can't get enough of it. And that one got given out. Woo! Seriously though, and no offense to Lindsay, but Lindsay's a mess. Allegedly. Also, just to point out, if the chat is really busy for you all around, Vince giving out memberships. Oh my god, it's working today. Thank you guys so much. No, it works, and I tested it on even longer ones, Nico. They work all the way. I can fit as much as you can give me. Let's put it that way. As much as you want to throw at me, as deep and long and hard as you want to go, I can do it. Now, seriously, yes, lots of innuendo. Lots of it around here, Mac. I like how that looks. Your logo's sweet. And I am definitely not PG-13 and definitely not on a Friday night. No, no, no. Not with these boobs. Anyways, Judge, I was interrupting you. Why was I interrupting the judge? Oh! If it's busy over here. Oh, you guys keep distracting me with gifting! Ah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay! Thank you so much. Those all got given out. Oh, Lord. Jesus, thank you. And then Dwight, a member for a month. But you'll never leave now. You can't. You're here. We're family. I'm so glad. Thank you so much, Nico. Thank you guys so much for your support. I keep trying to say it. I keep getting interrupted. It's okay. But if this chat gets busy for you folks, please know that you can go ahead and block Streamlabs and things will calm down a little bit. We are a busy place around here, but you can, you know what I mean. Is this case sad? Now, Katie9, before we get going on that, I saw him streaming yesterday. I saw him streaming yesterday, or the other day. But, I guess there's been an update? Interesting. Oh, hold on. Not fired. You know, almost fired or basically fired and not fired, difficult. Also, Mike, Streamlabs is only on it when gift memberships are given. If somebody was to do a super chat, it will take a long time. It will take a long time. I promise you that. Okay. Okay. All right. Listen, as somebody who's had a lot of jobs, don't believe what you hear. Okay, let's go. I have a timer here. I bought this at the dollar store the other day. It's for 2 minutes. I'm going to set it and see if I can shut the fuck up for 2 minutes. Let's see. Does anybody want to take the over-under on that?
Also, do not make any comments when speaking.
Oh, Kevin, you're turning me into a liar. I love it. First of all, see, look how long this is taking, Kevin. I'm saying thank you. Thank you. But Streamlabs is taking a long time. I love that, though. Okay, we're back to 2 minutes. Let's see if I can do it. Can I shut the fuck up for 2 minutes? Seriously, though, thank you so much, Kevin. That is awesome. I put it back up again. That's how much I love it. All right, here we go. MB says no. Yeah, because look at me. Woo! I caught it first. Filthy liar. Ah! Vince, I love you so much. First of all, Streamlabs, you are so late on this. Woo! Filthy liar. That's the best thing I've been called today, Vince, and I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you so much for the support. There we go. Oh, hold on. Get down here. That one was for Kevin. Thank you so much, Kevin. And thank you so much, Vince. I put it up again just to convince Streamlabs to put it up on the screen. And yes, we are on what we call around here PST or Paisley Standard Time, close to Pacific Standard Time, but not quite. Not quite. It combines a Canadian minute along with a Paisley minute. Difficult. An absolute difficult. Sometimes, Nico, I do the math about how much I talk versus how much the court is, and it sometimes leans to me. It leans to me. Woo! There's Vince's. Yay! and now let's see how long. So slow. Legal fiction. So fucking slow. But thank you so much. Aw. Seriously, thank you so much. I put it back up because I hearted it. I really like how it does that. I wish I could claim that. I didn't do that, but you're so sweet, Cheryl. You're so sweet. I'm never 15 minutes late. I'm usually 3 to 5 minutes late. And you know what it is? It's when I'm yay! Thank you, legal fiction. Sorry, I didn't mean to say, like, get out of the way, Kevin, to your comment. Even though I sort of did. Okay, here we go. Timer going. Shut the fuck up, Paisley.
Speaking, when someone else is speaking or testifying, you will have an opportunity to respond. If you should engage in offensive or disruptive behavior, you could be held in contempt of court and go to jail. So, Mr. McKediak, in your case, you're not represented, but you've chosen to, again, proceed in that matter. You're held to the same legal standards as an attorney. So, with that, I'll ask Mr. McKediak, because you are the...
I can't not say thank you. I'm really sorry. But here's the deal. I'm Canadian and we're polite. So thank you, Drunk Beaver, for 9 whole months. And then thank you again. Look at this. I got to turn it back over and start it again. Thank you again to Vince for gifting a membership. That is so sweet of you. And I saw that it got given out to Virginia. That's lovely. I'm fucking sorry. I'm sorry, Kevin. No, seriously. Okay, come on. I want to be able to do 2 minutes. I want to be able to do 2 minutes. And I love the disruptions. But we are predisposed to say sorry, thank you, pardon me, you know, all that jazz. When I was in Florida, people very often were like when we went, Donna and I went grocery shopping, and I would say, oh, excuse me, just behind you. And she's like, why are you talking to people? I'm like, well, this is just the way I am. It's just the way I am. If you pass somebody, you say sorry. I mean, God forbid you hit them. If you hit them with your cart, I don't know. I think you might owe them a kidney. Who am I kidding? We don't owe people kidneys around here.
Plaintiff in this matter, you would go first. Do you wish to make an opening statement, or you can waive your opening statement?
Yeah, I'll waive it. I don't really, there's nothing to say. I just want it over with, and you decide what's what. As far as parenting time, I'm not asking for anything from her. She's already taken it all and been given it all.
Okay. Well, you have a chance to testify to that. Anything else you'd like to say on your...
Jeez Louise, we can't even get through half the timer. Mac. Try again. Fuck, look how cool that looks. I've never seen the sticker do that. That looks amazing. Restart. Okay, we'll get that. So, maybe this is the game. Now I can only, talk until it gets to the beginning. She does look scary. Like, she literally looks like the Barbie that you wiped all of the makeup off of, but braided her hair, and then you plopped her head back down on it, and then it didn't really fit. Lisa B. Becoming a member, but in reality... Wait, is that again? No. Birdie OG team, that's right. That's right. Okay, here we go. Come on now. We can do it. We can do it. I'll hold it for the entire... I'll hold it for all the steam.
Opening statement.
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Smith, you should make an opening statement, reserve your opening statement, or waive your opening statement.
I'll waive it, Your Honor.
Okay. As we didn't have any opening statements, Mr. McKediak, this is your opportunity to present your case in this particular matter. So what happens, you can, I don't know if you have witnesses or anything else. You have a right to testify yourself. If you wish to do so, we'll have to have you sworn in first, because anything you would say that is not under oath is not evidence, okay?
Yep.
And do you wish to testify, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have you raise your right hand and be sworn in, then we'll proceed.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, sir. You can testify as to what you would like to state.
I mean, I met Miss McKediak and we were married. We didn't even live together for 9 months. We separated. It's been constant turmoil and drama and strife. Everything that was at the house, she took, my dogs included. You know, I don't understand how she's asking for child or spousal support when she took care of me for 5 years when I was incarcerated. And then home, I was only with her for 9 months. As far as anything else, I just want visitation set by the court for my son, so that way she has to abide by it. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I just want the divorce.
Okay, well,
Hold the fucking phone for a minute. We need to talk about something, Cheryl, because did he just do his whole case in under 2 minutes? And I can't even get through 3 minutes? I'm fucking, was that his whole case? Sir. Okay. I mean, I'm down. I'm just amazed that he followed the timer rules as well. He didn't even know about it.
well, sir, as it relates to visitation, your son, if you would explain to me and testify as to how your relationship with your son is.
There isn't one. She's kept them from me for the past 4 years. Then when I don't do anything after the fact, as far as birthdays, Christmases, or anything, then I'm the bad guy. But when I was able to contact her and be able to be like, hey, what are you getting the kids so we don't get double? It was always a big constant fight. She's just been spiteful. It's one of those, she can't have me, nobody else can. And then I can't see my son if I'm not catering to her. For example, she was trying to get me locked up and sent back because I wouldn't pay her electric bill that she ran up $1,602. And then, of course, I can't see my son. But if I'm giving her money and paying for stuff and doing everything she wants, then she'll let me come over and see him or whatever. Other than that, I don't ever get to see him. She's continually used him as a pawn for financial gain.
Okay,
Oh, that's so cute. We're not an OnlyFans rejects. We have an actual OnlyFans, Al. And I actually think I have a pretty good comprehension of the law. But I'm Canadian, so I don't have to, in fact. But yeah, if you don't like it, don't hang out. That's the easiest part about it. We just have fun here. So it's just so simple. I always wonder about people that like complain excessively in other fucking like chats. I just don't get it. Because I spend my time watching things I like and hanging out with people I like. I don't know. Just seems like the easiest way to deal with that.
let me ask you one thing, sir, as I do note in reviewing the pleadings. You had said that you were married on October 10th, 2019. Defendant in her answer states you were married on October 22nd, 2019. Do you know what your date of your marriage was?
No, it wasn't the 10th. The 10th's my son's birthday.
Okay.
So maybe it was I don't remember. You know, that
Oh.
was, 19. And she moved out of the house that December and moved to her mom and dad.
In December, you said, is it 2019?
Yeah. Because we found out she was pregnant. I think it was either December or January. She moved out and moved back to mom and dad's because we were arguing and fighting so much.
Paisley checking if she paused it.
At the time of the scheduling conference, there's also stated that there was a dispute on property division. Would you explain to me, are you aware of any dispute on property division?
No, sir, because last time, well, not the last hearing, the hearing before this was all supposed to have been settled. She'd stated on the record she didn't want anything and there was no property to be divided.
Okay, well, today is different and people can change their minds. I'm just wondering if there is a property division.
Yeah, I don't have one. I don't know of anyone or anything.
Okay.
She's already got
Okay.
anything I would
Clarify first, well, in your complaint, you state that the date of separation was December 1, 2019. And she stated no, that you separated in 2020. Do you know, was it December or was it
I mean, if
going into 2020?
if it was 2020, it would have been January of 2020 or December of, it's within a month, or December of 19.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
line
anything
time,
else that
ladies
you'd
and
like-
gentlemen. If you're keeping track, I'm guessing when she goes off the screen, she's allegedly doing lines. Of course, I mean writing lines, as in the kind of punishment that you got when you were a child. Definitely not anything to do with your nose, but let's just say somebody's doing lines, allegedly.
Me to be aware of, sir.
Not that I can recall.
Okay. Ms. Smith, do you have any cross-examination?
Mr. McKediak, you stated that you don't currently have a relationship with your son.
Nope. I don't think I've seen him in over a year.
Are you aware of any special needs he has that would make Mrs. McKediak a little leery of you having him in your care unsupervised?
No, I mean, he's nonverbal autistic.
Do you believe that you're able to accurately and adequately care for him with his special?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you-
I own my own business. I have time. Like, I don't have to have addicts around him to help entertain him or help take care of him. I have family support that are in the medical field. I have other family support. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I definitely could. Like, she just had a truancy case where they were talking about taking the kids. And even her other son's father said I could take the other son.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
No,
Okay, thank you. Sir, do you have any other witnesses?
no.
Any other evidence, sir?
No.
Oh shit, she's chewing on her finger like shit. I didn't even need to fucking hire a lawyer. I don't know, ma'am. I don't know. And B, I have to say, this hearing goes on for hours. So either she digs herself a hole here or something. Also, let's see. I'll put my 2-minute timer on. Each and everything, look at my spot for my timer. Actually, and who said that this should be a super chat request? You know, back in the early camming days, which was held on a different website, everything was a super chat request. But I've become a lot less stringent on that these days. Anyways, yeah, it's like melting. Not melting, but like falling over. You think she's covering up face tattoos with all her face makeup? I would go with, you do green, like, cover up first, and then, like, an orange cover up, and then a cover up. Bill, you don't think I'm looking at myself? That's the biggest thing on my big screen TV over here is me, because I'm very vain, and I like to look at myself. So, honestly, I'm bigger than the chat, in my mind.
Okay, thank you. And do you rest your case then, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Smith, you can proceed with your proofs.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to call Lindsay McKediak.
Okay. Ms. McKediak, we'll have you raise your right hand and be sworn in, then we'll proceed.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give?
Hold on, Pippi Longstocking. What the fuck's going on with her hair? What is going on here? Hate on tattoos. I didn't even hate on her tattoos. Al, I just think it's so funny what you complain about. I've realized your thing, though. You're just into complaining. Do you know what? We don't kink shame here. So, guys, Al's kink is complaining. Just be aware of that. There we go. That's fine. We don't kink shame. I know that bothers some people too. Anyways, did she leave it attached somehow to her like watch or something? Is that what we've got here, or I don't know. I'm gonna go with I'll try. Oh wait, wrong arm. Okay, well I'll just pretend.
Give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Smith, when you're ready.
Thank you. Mrs. McKediak, when did you and Mr. McKediak meet?
We met years ago. I was about 13 years old when we first met.
Ma'am, you're a little bit faint, so speak up, please, and try to project.
I was really young when we
Judge, it's not faintness, it's her vocal fry. And yeah, Commissioner's here. It does take hours, but they're doing hours. Anyways, we will watch it. We'll be here all night. Yeah. That's called Friday Night Plans. Yeah.
first met. I was like 13 years old when we first met.
And when did you and Mr. McKediak get married?
We got married October, I believe it was October 22nd, 2019, and it was at 3:30 or 3:17 p.m.
Where did you get married?
Calhoun County Courthouse.
How many children do you and Mr. McKediak have together?
We have one.
And how old is your child?
He just turned 4 on August 10th.
And what year was he born?
2020.
Does your child have any special needs?
He is nonverbal, autistic, and hard of hearing.
Do you have any special care regimens that you do with him?
Yes, he's a very routine schedule, and he attends therapy. He goes to therapy from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And he attends Summit Point. Behavioral counseling. Sorry.
Did she just yawn? 5 days a week for 8 hours a day? I'm sure that this is not like talk therapy, obviously. I'm assuming it's like occupational and speech and all these different kinds of therapies, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe she wasn't doing lines. Generally, you stay awake. I'll say that. I'll say that. Unless it's a downer. Also, I don't know if we can trust what she said about them meeting when she's 13. How far away from 13 does she look right now? Fucking years. Okay? Their kid's only 4. So I'm just, I don't know. It just isn't tracking for me.
You said that he attends therapy Monday through Friday, 8 to 4.
Yes.
Where is his therapy?
He goes to Blue Lake Autism Center.
Where is that, ma'am? I couldn't hear.
Blue Lake Autism Center.
Is that here in Battle Creek?
Yes. It's on Southwest Capitol.
And when were you made aware of his diagnosis?
So he was officially diagnosed in August of 23 autistic, but he failed his newborn hearing screen, and then so it kind of, we had to go through the steps of the hearing first before he could actually be diagnosed autistic. So it was a process before he could actually be diagnosed with autism. So I got the official paperwork of the diagnosis of autism in August of 2023.
So you've known about his diagnosis for about a year, but how long had some of the symptoms been presented before he was diagnosed?
I noticed Brantley was
You saying her and I look the same age? I hope I look better than that. I think I look at least more natural and alive than that. But I'm over 35. I'm 36 years old. She just looks so like filled and fake and not in the way that I usually like that, you know? You know?
just a different child from probably 7 months on, like that he wasn't reaching developmental milestones that he should have been reaching.
During this time, how involved was Mr. McKediak in your child's care prior to the autism diagnosis?
He wasn't. He was in prison.
Do you recall when Mr. McKidiak was released from prison?
He was released from prison um, June of 2021 or May, and then went back 17 days later in June 19th of 2021. So,
And do you know when he was released the second time?
well, yeah, it was 10 months later. Um, so February, so I want to say it was February 4th, 2022. I
After
want to
Mr.
say that was the day.
Follow-up
But
video.
roughly.
Yes, this is a follow-up video. They've been back. They've been here twice before. But I think he went to jail before she got or I don't know. I'm sure we'll hear, or I guess we won't, because she cross-examined him already, and maybe it was a pro move that he didn't talk about a lot, so she didn't have a lot to ask. But each wins, Mike. I've seen.
After Mr. McKidiak was released from prison, did he have any involvement in your son's care?
Which time?
The second time.
The second time, he tried really hard to make right for a little while, for I'd say a couple weeks. He financially he financially tried.
Okay, hold on a second, ma'am. You're gonna have to compose yourself because I can't understand a word you're saying.
He financially tried to help, but no.
What about as far as, do you need a moment? Are you ready? How did Mr. McKidiak aid in his care as far as being hands-on and physically beyond the financial?
He didn't. He didn't show interest in him. It was all about us getting back together and living together, but he was on parole and we were not supposed to even be having contact with one another. And but that did not stop him. So it was really hard.
So I'd like to ask you a question about what you just said. So you stated that Mr. McKidiak was on parole and the two of you were not supposed to have contact. Why were you not supposed to have contact during that time?
Domestic violence. He did some pretty horrible stuff to me.
Is that why Mr. McKidiak went to prison?
Yes.
Okay.
It was when I was pregnant, and then the second time was same thing. I went back to prison again.
So when your son was diagnosed autistic, with that appointment, did you attend alone? Did Mr. McKidiak attend that appointment with you?
I tend to everything alone.
Has Mr. McKidiak attended any doctor's appointments?
No.
How do you transport your son to his therapy Monday through Friday?
Um, uh, I have a car, but me and my mother helps me with a lot. My father helps me out, but they're getting old, but they help me.
Has Mr. McKediak ever taken your son to therapy?
No,
What about his Summit Point appointments?
no,
Has he attended any appointments?
no.
Do you have any concerns about your child being in Mr. McKediak's care during some time?
Okay, I'm going to address this, and I don't disagree. If he served time for domestic violence while against her, then absolutely extra precautions need to be taken. However, that's exactly why we need to be in front of a court who can go ahead and issue parenting time orders. If that requires that he be supervised for a period of time and then build up to that because this child has severe needs along with the history that we see, then that is what the court needs to issue. These two people cannot be in charge of this. They have not shown their maturity to do that, and it's just not the way that it needs to be. So I'm glad that they're here. I'm glad that it's in front of this judge. This judge, as much as we joke about it, him being a Wordle judge, he pays attention always. You'll hear when he makes his ruling today that he heard every little bit, okay? And while I understand she may be a victim, the fucking only point here is actually the child. This hearing is about the best interests of that child and nothing about really how she feels. They can set it up so that she's not re-victimized, and I am all for that. Anybody that comes here enough knows that I'm a pretty staunch supporter of women's rights, victims' rights, men that have been victimized rights. Believe me, okay? But her behavior in court in the past and what I'm seeing here is less than stellar, and exactly why this court order needs to be put in place. And also, I don't give a fuck about her tattoos. Both of them have tattoos. I don't have any tattoos. That's my choice, but they're adults and they can choose to do it. However, if you put something on your body and then when you show up somewhere, you show it off, expect people to talk about it.
Type of court-ordered parenting time?
Yes.
What are those concerns?
He's very OCD from being in prison for so long. And it goes with like a lot of different things. The cleanliness of the house, to just the noises, things being just so. And I know that we've tried to have visitations before, monitored even, and does not have patience for an hour, let alone to take him. So I have my concerns.
So could he object and be to her characterizing that? Did they enter any medical records that show this? Like, if there was a lawyer on the other side here, would there be an objection? I feel like there would be.
Is yelling, drinking, leaving him with somebody that's not, that our son wouldn't know.
Have you ever observed Mr. McKediak drinking around your son?
Yes, not around our son, like, where we had tried to do the visitation with him before, and he was drunk when we had, so that didn't happen.
What kind of visitation was it?
Um, just supposed to be friends and family, his mother and visiting, and but we didn't stay. Had like Thanksgiving stop and so he could see, and come to find out he had been drinking and he knew that he was going to be seeing his son.
Oh my god, I figured it out. These guys are like a dollar store version of that couple. The big tattooed rapper guy and his blonde girlfriend Bunny. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? They're a dollar store version. It's a dollar store version. That's exactly what this is. Jelly Roll and Bunny. Thank you. We'll call it Jammy Roll Up and Hamster.
And so
Have you ever witnessed Mr. McKidiak leaving your child with someone you didn't feel comfortable with? Has there ever been a time where he's had him alone and left him with someone else to your knowledge?
no, but that's what he says, that he like how he'll take care of him is he's going to have someone else do it. Because I asked how he's going to do it, and it's I'll pay other people to do it, and he threatens to just take him from me. He he's never I've tried talking to him civilly about having some sort of relationship with him, but it doesn't get too far, and so we've only tried maybe the visitation thing where he's actually seen him like maybe a handful of times, and he only stays, or he could stay for hours and visit, but it's 5 minutes. So it, more of the interest has always been towards me, not the child. So
Um, have you ever intentionally or purposely kept your child away from Mr. McKidiak?
no, I've sent him pictures and videos, updates on him and how he's doing. That's how he knows that he is his condition.
Since this divorce was filed in February, have you and Mr. McKidiak been living together?
No,
And since the two of you have not been living together, has he made any effort to try and see your child?
no,
Has he remained in communication with you about his progress or how he's doing?
no. Sorry, I have COVID, so if it's hard to hear me too.
Again, I didn't shame about the tattoos. In fact, I said that she gets to have them and we don't get them. We don't have to talk about them. But I did adjust the zoom, Paul. Look at me doing that. On the fly, on the fly. Also, Great Value Jelly Roll is perfect. Can you fix that? I have a broken light switch at my house that I'm gonna have to fix in the next couple days. Vince cannot, but have been looking into that via AI because of assholes that put false privacy claims on. Just thought about making everybody into a fucking cartoon, to be honest with you. Except for me, of course. But, anyways.
Mrs. McKidiak, I'd like to switch over to the topic of property.
Yes.
Do you and Mr. McKidiak own a home together?
No, I've had this house that lived in since before me and him were ever married. So since um, my oldest son was 2, so before he was ever out of prison, um, from his 10-year prison stay. So
So you owned your home prior to you and Mr. McKidiak getting married?
yes.
Did the two of you purchase any assets together after you got married?
Um, well, he purchased. Um, he kind of controlled all the money, and I'd have $12. So, um, uh, cars.
$12 is such a random amount, Julie. Also, welcome, but we are fucking dragging along. Actually, I've only added 26 minutes to this, and that includes my intro, and it's Friday night. So I'm not doing terribly, but I mean, and we've also had a lot of boob talk, if we're being realistic, and a few interruptions from Al, who's learning how it goes around here, and that's fine. Honestly, my light switch issue is that it's one of those like the standard, but the flicker part, not a little one, but like the big part, like just tappity tap, and it'll go, fell out somehow. So, we've got that. And then thank you so much, Julie. Look at this. Putting it up on the screen, saying thank you. Wine much? Oh fuck. Yeah. We got it. It looks like the dimmer one. First of all, thank you again, Julie. Streamlabs, please put it up. Seriously, come on. It looks like the dimmer, but it's just that length of a flicker, let's call it. It's a flicker. Anyways, it's broked. And I'm just like, I guess. Oh, woo! So do we have to I guess we have to turn off some, I don't know, we have to talk, I have to think about it before I fix it, is the issue. That's really the reality here. Anyways, let's just continue on. I'll go grab it, because it fell out. I'll show y'all. No, it's not old, it's new. It's broke.
Vehicles that I don't have.
So
Bought businesses, tattoo equipment, businesses of such, but anything that was in my possession, he would destroy. Anything. And it doesn't matter if it was the children's, he destroyed it and sold it. Or set it on fire.
So the two of you did buy property together?
The house, I guess if you say, but the vehicles, tattoo stuff, yes. But the house, I had that before. So, but then he ended up moving in to my home. So,
So the vehicle, who currently has possession of the vehicle?
John,
Do you have a vehicle?
I have a vehicle, yes. I have,
Okay, speak up, ma'am. I'm not hearing you very well.
yes, I have a vehicle, but it's not a very good vehicle.
I think it goes without saying the fact that I have it here is the problem entirely. It fell out. I know, and I will get a whole new switch, I guess. Switch is the correct word, but I refer to switches as the bamboo ones. take that for kinky, Al. But anyways, I don't want to have to turn off. I don't want to put a fucking screwdriver to it. I really wish I could put it back in because, you know, I just don't want to have to touch electricity. I just don't. I know my limits. I stay within them. Know your limit, play within it.
You said that Mr. McKediak destroyed some property.
Yes,
Was that property in the home?
yes.
What was that property?
Um, well, uh, everything that was inside the house, every single door, I had to replace every single door. The essential air unit, he ripped shingles off the roof. So I had to replace the roof on the home because of that, because he damaged the roof. Um, and then one of the vehicles, too, he damaged that. Everything my son owned, both of them, he sold and destroyed or set on fire. So I had to replace beds, dressers, everything, clothes, shoes, cell phones. He did that to me multiple times to where my cell phone was $500 a month.
I know where the breaker is. What is she talking about? $500 a month cell phone. I was just looking at my cell phone bill and crying, but I finally got it down to. Regardless, that's not what we're talking about, Paisley. I thank you guys for your help. The breaker, duh. I know how to do the breaker. I will do the breaker. Then I can take care of this. Secondly, what is she talking about? Did he go to jail for that? Again, I'm a little puzzled why her lawyer is letting this go and her not saying, well, here's the insurance report or whatever. Google Fi in Canada. Do we have Google Fi? I don't know. I have fiber internet, but it's not through Google. Maybe it's through Google. I think our internet's through TELUS.
For months, because when you buy a phone, if you can't afford, iPhone, you lease them, you have to you breaking them and break them, and I make.
Oh, I will be honest with you about cell phone bills. My cell phone bill is very expensive, and at the minimum price right now, it's $85 a month for just my line. And then, but that up until recently it was $120 a month. And it's very expensive. And I've had the phone plan for 20 years. And it's just gone up and down, mostly up, to be honest with you. It is very expensive. I actually think about getting a US phone, like how cheap it was in Florida. I was like, it would be cheaper for me to get a phone down here all the time and then just pay it and like have because there's unlimited North America calling for most of these plans. Anyways, it's terrible. But I do have really good internet at the house, which we pay a lot of money for, top tier. And you can tell that now because with the new computer, thank you, MB, it works really well. Like I told you, we had good internet. We pay high fucking internet. Oh, the internet bill, I think, is like $140 a month, maybe? Maybe more.
Insurance claim and he'd break it again. And so my phone bill just had that. And he would go buy a phone on my account and just break it.
Was this before or after the divorce was filed?
This was before, way before.
But the two of you were married.
Yes.
Are you currently employed?
No, I am not.
And when were you last employed?
Well, it's been rough because of Brantley. So Brantley just got into where he could go full um, time child care. So he was on a waiting list for so long. Until then, I could not work because with his condition, um, he couldn't just go to daycare. Um, so it was just really complicated because they had to have a diagnosis and everything. And then once he got the diagnosis, it was a waiting list. So um, there's there was not enough resources in Calhoun County. I had called um, everywhere you could think of. But he couldn't just go to like your typical child kid. You could call daycares and sign them up through daycare. He could not. So that put my, me working at a standstill because
Okay, well, cry about it, ma'am. I mean, I chose to not work when my daughter was younger until she was so good at verbalizing issues that I felt confident sending her to care. Your child can't verbalize issues. It's understandable that you don't want to put him in care. You don't need to make a big, huge deal about this. We're behind you on that. Like, yeah, he I don't know what the fuck's going on now, but in reality, you guys need specialized care. You need support for this, but he needs to see his dad, and it needs to be court ordered. It's very difficult to get a judge to say no more visitation ever, which is what she sounds like she wants. He's the petitioner. He's the moving party. He is the person that, without a lawyer, filed this motion and is here. Okay? And so in that case, you have to understand that he does 1,000 times more than most fathers that come in here and complain. They always are here on child support not being paid, etc. This is his motion. I think we have to give him some credit for that.
I couldn't just leave him with somebody that's not trained or professional to leave him with. There's this, I'm trying to think of the name of, I have to, if I leave him with somebody to watch him in my home, it has to be somebody that's trained, like a chore provider, but it's for a special needs kid. So I couldn't do that. I had to stay home with him.
So you stayed home full time with your child to ensure that he got the care he needed?
Yes.
And who financially supported you during that time?
Um, well, the state helped out a lot, but some family and friends um, helped me out. I had savings that I had from my first kid, but it was really a struggle. So
Did Mr. McKediak help financially?
no.
What about when he got out of prison?
He did for about a month. Like I said, he tried for a very short span where he was stopping off at my house, and he would stop and drop off some money every day. He said he would give me like half of what he made, whatever, and sometimes it was very generous amounts, like $500, $400, $400, $300 a day. And he makes a crazy amount of money, so that made.
And he was giving you that much money? Well, ooh, she gonna be disappointed. He's like, bitch, the drug business is not to be talked about. Allegedly. Don't you know the rules?
Things a lot easier.
But was that consistent? Does he continue to do that?
It was consistent for that month, but no. After that, no.
Do you know where Mr. Makitiak works?
Yes, like he stated that he owns a business at Old Acre Tattoos in Meadow Creek.
Do you have an idea of how much money he makes?
I
Objection,
know
speculation.
that he's made between certain money. It ranges, but $20,000 to $30,000 a month.
Ma'am, you better have some fucking proof on that. Paul, I don't think she did. I think he did. I'm gonna guess that he gave her free tats at one point or another. 20 to 30K a month going into a business is different than somebody making 20 or 30K a month. 20 or 30K a month? You don't think, I mean, come on. Come on. I mean, I would say there's a lack of foundation for that. The judge is not going to impute him at that. Also, the other thing is there's usually a maximum amount that they impute somebody at, and it usually caps out well before that. So even if he's making the top 360K a year, child support don't go up and 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 up. Now, spousal support may, I don't know how it works, but this doesn't sound like a long-term marriage to me. Sounds like a short-term marriage.
He made that several times, and he brags about it. One tattoo, can be easy $500, and he's very talented. He does a bunch of them in a day. So, the last time I spoke to him, one time he told me how he felt bad that his employees only made $500 that day, and I'm thinking, lucky if I get that in a month.
So, Mr. Makitiak is a very talented tattoo artist. So he's able to make this amount of money that you stated. Does he currently help you financially?
No.
What kind of expenses do you have?
Everything. The house. Really is extra expensive because of his needs. He is incontinent, and then Um, just everything with his sensory and then development of how I have to arrange the home. Uh, so, uh, and he's large. So, uh, the clothes of having to shop and for him because he's grown like a weed. He's huge. Um, but just both kids and your average home expenses.
Um, does
Gas back and forth to school, every day.
do you have medical insurance? Do you cover medical insurance for your son, Brantley?
He's got Medicaid.
Do you have any out-of-pocket medical expenses, or does Medicaid cover most of it?
Well, I think I owe $3,000 for one of his medical expenses, but
How much was that, ma'am?
$3,000.
Okay.
Is this a medical bill?
Yeah.
Does Medicaid cover the expense?
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Does Medicaid cover the expense for his therapy and his Summit Point behavioral health appointments?
Yes.
How often are you buying him clothes?
I'd say every like 3 months. Yeah, it's had luckily he's starting to get into where he can fit into his 11-year-old brother's.
He has an 11-year-old brother. Hold on. We gotta chase Mikey's number one. Well, you do get visited by judges and you do have a check mark. Not on this channel, Mikey, but on the others. Or the other. Congratulations, by the way. A judge visit is highly coveted. I hope you had a good week. We are here. This is such a clusterfuck of a case, but I apologize, but she looks literally even more like the Barbie that you put in the Easy Bake Oven, and then the hair stayed on, and so your mom made you keep her, and then it was only basically like she was fucked up, She looks fucked up. Oh, Beverly, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Streamlabs, is gonna be a dick and take a long time to put that up, but I say thank you. And you think she has deep pockets? I don't know. Yeah, she's the Barbie melted with the magnifying glass. Cellulite yoga pants, neither did I. I'm gonna be honest. Did I? No, I don't think so. My mother didn't like anything fun. Or like chemically. She's like, oh, we have a real oven. You wanna, bake something, do it in there. Which, I mean, is sort of true, but Easy Bake Ovens held their own allure. They baked by a light bulb. Anyways, where is Bev's? Thank you. Thank you, Beverly. I really appreciate that. Oh, look. Oh, it doesn't say it shows me that you have a check mark. I'm so proud of that. I'm so jealous of your check mark, Mikey. But, we don't play Paisley's, talkings about your check mark. Just big channels. I see. Anyways, okay, let's continue on here. Yeah, I also do think that they look like the Great Value Jelly Roll and Bunny. I'm going with that still.
clothes. So because he's so big. But I turned right around and he need new clothes. So and shoes. So and he's got to where he's got a special foot, yeah, extra wide. So I'd have to hunt him down shoes. Then he'd have to get New Balances extra wide for his feet. So that wasn't cheap.
How
And
much?
then his diapers are extremely expensive because he is so big that uh, it's not just your average pull-ups. He outgrew those a long time ago. So yeah, like 1.5.
Um, so Mrs. McKidiak, how much a month would you say that you're spending on all of your expenses, including the special things for Brantley?
Well, I know that uh, gas back and forth, um, that I spend at least, uh, I would say it's $120. I think I pay a week to get him back and forth to school, um, and then about $200 a week is, well, that's if you're just including his diapers and wipes and gas.
Is Mr. McKidiak currently ordered to pay child support?
Yes.
And have you been receiving child support consistently?
No.
When is the last time you received child support?
June.
Was it consistent before June?
Oh, it depends what kind of beaver you mean and what stream, Kevin. But thank you so much for the super chat. Um, love it. Appreciate it. Streamlabs. Streamlabs. Where are you? Whoop. There you are. Yay. Thank you. What is she whining about too? Like, where is she getting that money is the question. Good night, Bill. We'll see you tomorrow. Gas is very expensive here, but get ready to be confused. Oh shit. Oh shit.
June?
No.
How much child support is he ordered to pay?
600. I used to think it was 550, but I think it's 658 a month, which I think I could be wrong there too. I think it's actually 698 a month. I want to say that's what it is. I think it's 698 a month is what he's, but that could be wrong. So I don't know, because he'll go a period where he doesn't pay, and then he'll put a large lump sum down. So, but I want to say it's close to 700 a month.
Do you anticipate in the future that you would be able to return to work with Brantley's condition?
Yes.
How do you believe you'll be able to do that?
Well, I'm hoping to, but he will be, um, attending school normally, and so things like should get a little easier. I should have more free time, so where I can actually be able to work and have a steadier schedule that is not as focused on just having Brantley, but it's been fun too. Just financially struggle hard. It's been fun.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to the domestic violence. So you stated that Mr. McKidiak went to prison for domestic violence. You were the victim and you were pregnant during this time. What
Yes,
was this domestic violence instance while the two of you were married?
yes.
And could you kind of explain to the court what happened in that situation?
Well, he was angry because when I was pregnant, I wouldn't move home, and I left the house because of him drinking and tattooing inside the home. And so it was no place to be with a 5-year-old at the time. And he just kind of took over my home when he had moved in and paroled to my house. He was very just, he became physically, mentally, emotionally, all that abusive. So I moved out. Well, the domestic violence in July happened after he had bought me a new wedding band for my birthday and a new wedding ring, and I didn't move back home.
Oh, a new wedding band. I thought she said running band. And I thought, running? Is that what you're going with how you're so skinny? But wedding band. Yikes. Yikes.
So it led to, I think it was July 17th of 2020. He had um, ended up taping me up and suffocating me and taking a box cutter to my stomach and saying he was going to kill me and my unborn son. And that's what led him to go to prison.
Uh, I'm assuming that you got away without that happening. Also, I don't want to be the bad person here, but, well, never mind. I'm not going to. I'm not going to talk.
So you said that during this time you had moved out of the home and you were pregnant. Why did you move out of the home prior to the domestic violence incident?
Um, from him drinking and just him tattooing in the house, and then it wasn't already good for my 5-year-old son to be around, and he would yell at my son, and um, he was abusive to like my animals, and even just uh, because if it wasn't a purebred American bully, then it's a stupid mutt, and he kicked the dog out, and it kind of first started over that too. He was beating on the dog before he started beating on me.
Is this
Did somebody just bark? That sucks. That's totally unacceptable. But she took him back after this, if we recall.
domestic violence conviction? Was this what sent Mr. McKediak to prison the first time?
It was, yes, but it was a combination between he got charged with the domestic violence and he broke the no contact order because his probation officer had put uh, no contact between us. So he got charged with that, and it was in the middle of COVID and everything. But yes, because he was being charged with state charges, and then federally he was being charged with breaking a no contact order with his federal probation.
Mr. McKediak testified that while he was in prison, you cared for him financially. Was that prison term for the domestic violence?
No, he is talking about before we even ever got married.
Okay.
He said I took care of him for 5 years. I never took care of him financially at all. He, I never took care of him financially at all. He'd send me drawings and pictures and things like that.
Okay. But just to clarify, that was prior to the marriage, and you were likely working during that time.
Oh, I was
Okay.
absolutely working.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure. And so you stated that when Mr. McKediak was released from prison, uh, in 2021, he went back 10 or so days later.
Yes, it was uh, 17 days, but yes, I believe it's 17 days later he
Seven.
went back.
And
17 days exactly.
what was the reason that he went back for?
Even no contact order, but he had shot at my parents' house. Did
Okay.
you hear me?
Yep, I can. I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit, so could you just state what you
Okay.
said again?
He had shot at my parents' home, but I believe that the charge that he got charged with was breaking the no contact order. But he had shot rounds of firearm at me via telephone, and I left my home and because I felt vulnerable, and I went to my parents' house where he then had showed up and shot a firearm off several times, and the officers retrieved the shell casings, and so he was arrested but never charged with that. But he did end up going back to prison for breaking the no contact order. Justin, go get mommy a charger.
Miss Oh,
Hold on, we lost
What the
Mr.
fuck
Kudiak.
happened?
Can you hear me?
Barely.
Yes,
Okay. I don't know what's going on there.
okay. Um, do you currently have does Mr. McKediak, do you currently have a no contact order with Mr. McKediak?
I have a PPO.
He has one on you. It's the other way round. He won the TPO against you. Also, we've talked about me being a magic marker before. Look, I just scratched myself and then it's like a magic marker appearing.
And why do you have the personal protection order?
Because I am fearful of him. I am fearful for a lot of things.
Do you believe that if there were some type of parenting time, some type of court-ordered parenting time, that you and Mr. McKediac would be able to successfully co-parent and also have successful exchanges of your child?
I would like to think that, but no, I don't think so. I would love to. Would love to. But no, I don't think so.
And why don't you think so?
Because that's all I've ever wished and asked for. And it's never happened. So
So you don't believe that you and Mr. McKediac would be able to successfully co-parent and have successful exchanges?
no, he absolutely despises me for whatever reasons. So no.
In your current PPO, are there any special provisions for you and Mr. McKediac to have contact in regards to your child?
No, I don't think like personal protection orders like protect against minors, like or like I don't know. I don't think that works. Like, but I think that it does state that he is not. I don't know because I did ask, but I think they're not supposed to contact children, places of work, things like that. But it's not. You can't put a PP. I can't put like a PPO on him against my son. Like that makes sense.
Right, but with your PPO, Mr. McKediac isn't supposed to contact you.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
but if you felt that the two of you could have successful communication regarding Brantley, would you be amenable to modifying the PPO so the two of you could have communication only regarding Brantley?
I mean, if there could be, but I don't think that there. There could be, like I said. So if there was peaceful contact, there wouldn't be a PPO. Is how I feel.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay,
Whoa, shit, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what's gonna happen now? He's gonna ask her questions. I need snacks, so I'm gonna go get my brie and some crackers, and then I'll put it on and we'll watch it. But I'm gonna get some brie. I'm gonna eat some cheese. Make my fat ass fatter.
so McKediac, I'm going to give you opportunity to question the defendant, but I have some questions first. So, ma'am, I'm unclear about when when the domestic violence occurred and when he went to prison.
Okay.
First, my question was I take it from what you've said, there was some domestic violence during the marriage. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when did that happen?
When did the domestic violence happen?
Yes.
Throughout the whole marriage, but he was charged with domestic violence. July. It was July. I want to say July 17th of 2020, right before our son was born, he had went to jail for it. I don't think he actually ever he. I don't think he got charged with it. He took a plea for it later on down the road.
Okay, so you don't know if he was charged at all, but you think something happened.
Well, he went to jail, but I don't know, like criminally wise, because he did go to prison. But he was because he was on federal probation.
Okay,
So,
and that would have been sometime after July of 2020, correct?
yes.
Okay. Let's go back to, because again, going through your testimony has been very unclear to me. You said you were married in October of 2019,
Yep.
and then you moved out, and I wasn't clear, when did you move out?
I moved out in February.
February of 2020?
Yes. I ended up, yes. And I left everything there. I didn't really move out. I just went and stayed at my mom and dad's. I didn't move out.
Well, you must have moved out if you weren't staying there anymore.
Well, I didn't move out. I just went and like stayed there the plan was to go stay at mom and dad's for a few nights.
Okay.
But I never got to actually move my stuff out. He ended up selling and destroying and burning everything me and my son owned. So I never actually got to just move out.
Okay. So after February of 2020, when you moved out to your parents, is it fair to say, based upon what you said, you never moved back in together and lived together as husband and wife? Is that correct?
No, because he went to prison.
Okay. Again, you never moved back together.
No, but no,
Okay.
he went to prison.
Okay. Just answer my question. I'm trying to clarify.
I moved back into the house, but not with him.
Okay. So effectively, as of February 2020, the two of you are separated and you've stayed separated since that time.
Yes.
Okay. You stated that you believed that you could return to work, correct?
Yes.
And so how long has your son been in the, you said that there was hold on.
But they could really start.
You said that he's in therapy from 8 to 4 each day, Monday through Friday. And when did that start?
It was June. My planner's upstairs. He started. It was June. I want to say 12th is when he started.
June 12th of what year?
2024.
Okay.
It's like just.
Okay, just for clarification, if the court asks you a date, give me the year too, because you know what you're talking about, and
Yeah.
but I don't know. So you have to tell me, so I know, are we talking, like in this case, 2024, 2023? I don't know. And prior to your leaving employment, you had, your attorney had asked you the last day that you had worked and you didn't answer that. So I don't know, when was the last time that you worked?
Well, my work schedule was sporadic because of my son. So.
Okay, that doesn't tell me anything about the last day you worked. When did you work last?
I have had a part-time job, so
Okay, ma'am, I don't care if it's part-time,
trying to think,
full-time, or what.
I'm trying to think. The last time I worked was just recently, so I don't know the exact date, but recently, within a week, I worked. I've been starting to work back up. When's the last day I worked was? Thursday.
Hold on, ma'am. Ma'am, it looks like you're talking to somebody. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ms. McKediak,
I asked what day was the last day I worked. Yes.
are you talking to somebody in the room and getting answers?
Yes.
Do not speak to anyone else. Do not take answers from them. I'm asking you, if they want to testify and your attorney wants them to testify, she can call them. I don't want answers from another third party. I'm looking for you. When was the last day that you worked?
Thursday.
Last Thursday?
Yep.
Yesterday?
Last Thursday.
Okay. Last Thursday would be yesterday, ma'am. Were you talking yesterday or a week ago, Thursday?
A week ago.
Okay. So you're back to work now, at least as of August 22nd, 2024. And where are you working?
I work at Potter's Grow.
Okay. And when did you start at Potter's Grove?
I have worked there part-time spontaneously when I can, when it fits my child's needs.
Okay. Again, that doesn't tell me when you started. I asked, when did you start working for Potter's Grove?
Okay, so I started working there let's see.
Approximately. You don't need to give me the
I'm
exact date.
trying to think what date it was. I'm sorry, I have COVID. I don't feel very good.
Oh, she doesn't feel very good. She's gonna cry.
Roughly August of 2023. And I've spontaneously worked there.
So you've been working there for approximately a year.
Hold on. First of all, my roommate told me to stop yelling. He's like, you have to yell constantly? I'm like, usually you're drunk on Friday nights and you don't really give a shit that I'm yelling. But apparently he's not drunk tonight, so that's great. Anyway, second thing, I'm reminded of the girl that goes around and spontaneously works at places sometimes, like Target, for free and like social media clout. I'm just imagining her spontaneously working. Oh, wrong button.
Off and on
Okay.
when I can.
You stated that you've been supporting yourself through, you said you did have some savings. Is that correct?
Yes.
And how much do you have in savings left approximately?
A couple $1,000, but I'm negative too at the same time. I have
Okay, you stated that the plaintiff had at different times, you said he had destroyed your phone, your cell phone, but then you stated that there was an insurance claim made. Did the insurance pay for the cell phone?
I had to pay for the deductible of the cell phone.
Okay,
So
how much was the deductible?
$200 each time.
And how many times was the cell phone destroyed?
6.
6 times?
Yes.
And each time did you have to pay the deductible?
Yes. I think one time I had to pay for the phone. One time I had to pay the $1,200 for the phone, or $1,400. I had to pay the phone completely, the whole bill.
Okay.
Also, I'm not doing lines. I'm reaching for my computer, my other computer. That's why I look like I'm going off screen all the time. I've moved it closer to me now. Believe me. I will tell you. I'm not.
Ma'am, when you are working at Potter's Grove, and I'm asking just as a average, not each and every week or each and every month, on average, how much do you make per month?
I don't know what I make per month, sir. I know what I make hourly.
How much do you make hourly?
$27 an hour. $27.50.
And on an average, how many hours per week do you work?
Again, that's when it's been able to be accommodating to my son's needs. So
Okay, I'm asking for an average, ma'am. You've been working a year. You can give me an average over that
I
year.
don't have an average.
We have to have an average, ma'am. You know.
Autism is not average. So I don't have an average for you.
Okay, if 1 month you work and you make $200 that month, the next month you work and you make 400, the average for those 2 months would be 300. I'm asking an average per month for the last year that you've worked.
Well, probably $600. I make my house payment, I get by.
Okay.
$600 a month? Bitch, what kind of house payment does that include?
Okay, I have no further questions at the time. Mr. McKediak, do you have any questions of the defendant?
Yes, a lot.
Well, understand they have to be questions. They can't be statements.
Yes, correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. McKediak, how many people reside in your home?
3.
You're sure?
Oh, I'm sure, John.
Okay. So, and also, Ms. McKediak, you said you had to pay for any broken phones. Were you working when the phones were broke?
No, because my husband didn't let me.
Where did the replacement money
Hold
for
on
the
1
phones?
second before you do that, just to clarify. You say your husband let you, was this at a time when the two of you were not married, or when you married and he was your husband?
We were married. We've been
Okay.
married, so
That's fine. When you said that,
we just didn't live together.
I didn't know who you were talking about. Go ahead, Mr. McKediak.
So, Ms. McKediak, you weren't working when phones were broke. Where'd the replacement money for the phones come from?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, I've never heard somebody stumble this much on this one. Oh my god. Wow.
Ma'am, don't look to somebody else for an answer.
And my child is right there. I'm sorry.
Okay. He asked you,
I
where
do
did the
have
money
two children.
come? Where did the money come from to pay for the replacement of phones if you were not working at the time?
Lonnie Osborne.
What?
Lonnie Osborne.
Okay.
Okay. Also, you said you'd worked at Potter's Grove for how long?
I've worked there off and on for about the last year. It was
Okay,
Evolution
so
Pro.
all right. Were you working there when Mr. McKediak was released from prison this last time?
What?
You kind of broke up,
Were
Mr. McKee.
you working? Were you working for Potter's Grove when Mr. McKee released from prison this time?
Was I working when you were released from prison?
Yes. For Potter's Grove.
You were released in prison, let's see, February of 2022. So no, I was not working when you were released from prison.
Okay. Okay. I've got so much. Now you spoke on moving to mom and dad, your parents' house. Did your residency on your ID change, or your living residency as far as the courts?
John, you would both know that I did not move out there. I went out there and stayed out there, and then I never got to move any of my stuff. So I went out there to stay, but I never got to move out the house. So it just
I
became
asked,
official.
did your residency change for the
Yes,
court?
it did, because you went and got a PPO to make it so I couldn't come back to my home.
Okay. Thank you. Also, you'd stated Mr. McKediak had kept all your stuff and burn it and all that. Did you not kick in the back door of the house, run through and let officers in to remove all your property while removing all Mr. McKediak's property?
There's no way I could have. I had a small car. There was no way. But the police did break in the back door. Yes, they did.
And did you remove everybody's property?
No.
So you, Mr. Lou didn't remove property from the house, and the police officer allowed you to
There's
enter.
a whole video of you being so proud of destroying everything afterwards.
So you didn't come back in afterwards and remove all the property
No.
with two officers or two BCPD officers?
No.
Okay.
And my attorney has the video of you after the fact too. So I didn't.
So
You removed everything after, and I have that proof. So my attorney can show that evidence.
you also alleged that Mr. McKediak was abusive to the dog. Didn't your dog kill one of Mr. McKediak's puppies and he wanted him removed from the house?
You locked 3 dogs up in a cage together and left them alone. You don't know what dog killed what dog.
Mr. Kediak, stop. He's asking you a question. Did your dog kill one of the puppies? Do not go off on tangents. Answer just the questions. If your attorney has other questions to ask, she can get clarification. We're going to be here days if you're not going to answer the questions that are asked. Did your dog kill one of his puppies?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Is CPS involved in this case? Has somebody checked on this nonverbal child? I'm concerned at this point. Where's the ad litem? Seriously, where the fuck is the ad litem in this case? if there was a case that screamed for a guardian ad litem, this one is screaming to the heavens for it.
All right, Mr. McKediak, every time Mr. McKediak was incarcerated, did you put money on the phone and send money to him?
Yes, I had sent you money, and yes, I had put money on the phone.
Okay. Do you ever contact Mr. McKediak's girlfriends or anybody he's involved with and message him on Messenger and Facebook?
Nope.
No? Okay. What else do I want to say? McKediak,
Where is she?
can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
I can't see her.
McKediak, do you receive child support from Mr. McKediak, Tyler Young, and Social Security of Michigan?
I'm sorry. What? I didn't hear you.
Do you receive child support from Mr. McKediak, Tyler Yager, and Social Security for Brantley McKediak?
Because you do not pay your child support, it messes with the Social Security. So,
But do you receive?
I just told you, if you don't pay your if you don't pay, it messes with the Social Security. Tyler Yager pays his $100 a month consistently. You do not.
But do you receive child support and Social Security for Tristan Yager, Brantley McKediak?
I do not receive child support. No, because you do not pay it.
So there's child support ordered.
There's child support ordered, but you don't pay it.
And do you receive Social Security?
I receive Social Security.
Yes or no?
Yes, I receive Social Security when you pay your child support. It's a monthly based thing on income, and it messes with.
There's no way they're taking away when he doesn't pay. If he paid you too much, I could see them cutting your Social Security. But I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that they don't cut it when he doesn't pay. It just doesn't make sense. That's just not how the fucking system works. Also, if that's the case, why aren't you here with contempt for non-payment of support? I'm yelling again.
My Social Security, Brantley Social Security, when you do not pay your child support.
Do you leave your children with people in your home, Ms. McKediak?
No, I don't have people in my home.
Do you, how often does your parents have the children?
My parents see my children probably daily.
How often do they take them overnight, Ms. McKediak?
They take them every maybe other weekend.
Every other weekend? Okay.
Sometimes they haven't taken them one time for 9 months straight.
And then
I've had 4 surgeries, so they have taken them, and helped me out with them because their fathers are completely absent.
okay. And then you stated Brantley goes to the autism center from 8 to 4. Is that correct? Monday through Friday?
Yep.
Okay. So that's 40 hours a week, mom and dad. Am I correct? And then mom and dad take the kids every other weekend. Isn't the autism center also basically a school for children with autism?
Yes, it is a school for children with autism. Yes, it is.
So he's in school
Yep.
and you're not employed.
He's only
Or
been
part-time.
he's only been in school a month.
Okay, and part-time. All right, I wanted to get into the house issues. So you stated you lived in that house for 5 years?
No, longer than 5 years. I've lived in this
No.
house.
Okay,
We've been
before,
married for,
yeah.
we've been married for about 5 years. I've lived in this house
No.
since my son was almost 2 years old. I've lived
Isn't
in
it
this
correct?
house since 2014.
Isn't it correct that Adam Woodson owns that house?
Yes, it is correct. Adam Woodson owns this house. Correct.
And isn't it correct Adam Woodson sold the house to me and you when I got home in 2019 on a land contract? On a land contract that's filed with the city of Battle Creek, Miss McKediak.
Adam Woodson had a land contract with me, and you went and put your name on my land contract with it not being notarized.
Isn't that illegal?
It is
So
illegal.
the city of Battle Creek wouldn't file it.
Correct. You put your name on it yourself, and it was not notarized.
So there is a land contract with the city of Battle Creek for 230 East Kingman for
You
Lindsay
filed-
and John Petiak, right?
You-
Correct?
You
Correct.
filed it. You
Listen,
filed.
is that-
I'm trying to answer your question, John. You filed a land contract with your name on the land contract with it not being notarized.
The city of Battle Creek wouldn't accept that, Mr. Kediak.
Well, whatever you did, but it is, I have lived here since then, and that is, I don't know. It's not notarized. It's not notarized.
When did Adam Woodson leave the residence?
In 2020.
When did Mr. McKediak get home?
You got home July 17th of 2019.
So the three of you resided in the house together with your son. Is that correct?
Do you know what day you got off parole? Or do you know what day you got actually came to the house? It was December 4th of 2019.
Did Adam Woodson reside in the house with you and Mr. McKediak and your son?
Yes, he did.
Do you know why Adam Woodson decided to sell the house and move?
He didn't, but the house was already in bankruptcy before that. But because
Okay.
you threw him across the room.
So
You threw him across.
do you know Mr. McKediak's financial situation or the money when he came home in 2019?
Yes, I do.
So is it true in 6 months he'd made $11,000 and have a car? And
Yes, you got to pay money to stay at K-Pop.
so also, how many vehicles do you own, Ms. McKediak?
I own 2.
Okay, so you have 2 vehicles.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Thank you.
One in which I just got back from you.
What vehicle would that be, Ms. McKediak?
I don't have the keys. I had to replace the ignition switch because you wouldn't give it back to my mom and dad. The one that you pressed charges on me for.
Ma'am, hold on. No, ma'am. He asked you what the vehicle was. He didn't ask you for a narrative.
What is it, John? 2000 or 1997? Right. A 1997 blue Ford truck?
Okay. You don't also have a white Ford Edge?
Nope. I don't own a white Ford Edge.
The DMV says you do.
I don't own a white Ford Edge. No DMV says I own a white Ford Edge.
You also don't have a red Ford Edge.
A 2008 red Ford Edge? Yeah. Yes, I do. With 300,000 miles on it? Yep. Sure do.
Okay.
2 pieces of crap.
Gene Brown didn't co-sign for you to get a brand new Ford Edge, a white Ford Edge, Ms. McKediak.
Eugene Erber owns a white Ford Edge.
that he co-signed and you put a deposit down for him, Ms. McKediak?
No, not cosign. Eugene Ermer owns a white Ford Edge, John. I do not own a white Ford Edge.
Okay. Okay, Ms. McKediak.
I do not own a white Ford Edge. There is no DMV or anything saying I don't own a white Ford Edge, John. I wish I did.
So, Ms. McKediak, you seem very concerned about Mr. McKediak being around your son. But you also stated you don't have other people that reside in your house. So I'm kind of confused on the type of people that are around your son.
Yes, I am concerned about who you have around because just recently, the man that you have hung out with all the time, Tommy Knickerbocker, he shot his girlfriend 11 times. 11 times. He shot that girl 11 times. And you had him living in your home.
I have never had anybody living in my home.
Well, you had
Mr. McKediak, hold on.
Yeah,
Mr.
back.
McKediak, it's not your time to make statements or anything as well. You have a chance to ask her questions.
So, Ms. McKediak, the other people reside in your house, are they drug addicts?
And nobody resides at
Your
my
Honor.
house.
Excuse me?
Objection. My client already stated that only 3 people, her and
I
her
understand, but this is
reside in the home.
cross-examination. I'll allow some leeway.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. McKediak, do you use illicit drugs and are you addicted to codeine and Vicodins
Oh my God.
and morphine?
Oh my God, John. No.
You're not?
No, John.
Ms. McKediak, have you been placed on a list?
I don't even drink. No, and I did.
Ma'am, stop the narrative, answer the questions.
No.
Ms. McKediak, have you been placed on the seekers list at the hospitals for seeking illicit drugs and prescription pills?
Do you work at the hospital?
Ma'am, that's not an answer.
No.
Okay. That didn't come across very good, ma'am. The correct answer should have been no. If it was no. If you, oh dear. Oh dear. She's getting flustered.
I've never been. I do get prescribed a pain prescription for but that's none of your business.
Well, I mean, I was just concerned you're worried about the welfare of your son.
What does my prescriptions, medications that is monitored by a doctor have to do with my child?
It's your drug addiction.
It's not a drug addiction. If a doctor gives it to me, this is the type
no
of
narrative. I don't want to keep telling you. Answer the questions, that's all.
No, I don't have a drug problem.
So, Ms. McKediak, change the subject. Every time Mr. McKediak was sent back to federal prison, speaking on the domestic violence and whatnot, was he ever convicted?
Yes.
Yes. So how many?
You've had 2 domestic violences.
With you, Ms. McKediak, how many has he had that he's been convicted of?
I don't know. It was during COVID. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what you pleaded to. I don't know what you pleaded to. I don't know the answer to your question.
Every time Mr. McKediak was incarcerated federally, what was that for?
Breaking no contact orders.
Okay, so for no contact. And you never reached out to contact Mr. McKediak, correct?
No, I didn't reach out and make contact with you.
Okay. So, all right, now let's get into Mr. McKediak's finances. You stated Mr. McKediak makes $20,000 to $30,000 a month.
Yes.
Do you realize how much that is a year?
He has a lot of money. I know.
Okay. Where do you get that assumption or that information from?
You.
From All right, Your Honor, I have my tax papers from last year. My income was
Okay, sir,
$16,786.
this isn't the time to testify. I'll give you an opportunity for rebuttal.
Okay. That's pretty much Mr. McKediak, what'd you do for work prior to the what is it, the Bud House or wherever you work?
Well, cosmetology. I did
Cosmetology. I'm not sure that I would trust a cosmetologist looking like that, no offense. Also, this is not Washington. It does feel like Washington, but this is indeed Michigan. Michigan, part of the breadbasket of Law Tube.
cosmetology, clean houses. I was a bartender for several years. I was also an exotic dancer, and let's see, I was a caretaker, CNA. I
How
have
long
retail.
how long did you work after Mr. McKediak was released in 19?
I worked for a few months before you destroyed and sold all my belongings to where I couldn't work and locked me in the house.
So how many vehicles did you have at that time?
I had one.
Did Mr. McKediak have a vehicle at that time?
Yes, you did. You bought a car.
In 2019?
You ended up buying a car.
In 2019. Mr. McKediak bought a car in 2019?
You did. You had some, I don't know, you got it from one of your friends. It was a Jeep. I don't know if it ever got registered to you or not, but you had a Jeep. Did you or did you not? A silver Jeep. Yes, you did.
In
And
2019.
you drove a red car around. You had a vehicle and you had cars, yes. But you, for the majority in 2019, you didn't get out of KPEP until December 4th. So when you got out of KPEP and resided at 230 East Kingman at December 4th was the day you were released from KPEP and moved into 230 East Kingman.
So Mr. McKediak was placed in KPEP, halfway house. Were you the one taking him and picking him up every day for work and everything else?
I did.
So
I made sure you had a job.
So you weren't stuck in the house?
No, when you got to the house, I was stuck in the house. Yes.
But okay, so you stated you didn't work a month after
I worked for some months until you got out and moved into the house, and then I did not work anymore.
Okay. So who took care of you, Mr. McKediak, and your son?
I did.
You weren't working. How were you paying your bills?
I took care of us, me and my son.
You just stated you stopped working.
When you moved into the home, I stopped. When you moved into the house, I stopped working. Yes, John.
Okay. And my question is, who took care of you and your son and paid the bills? Who bought you cigarettes every day? Who made sure all the bills were paid? Who paid for gas while you weren't working, Mr. McKediak? Who bought school clothes? Who bought school clothes?
Oh my God.
We answer the question?
I bought school clothes. I bought Christmas. I bought your tattoo equipment. I bought everything.
Are we sure about that? I'm sensing that's not what's happening. He's doing an incredible job. He's really managing to stay on the ball here in terms of what he needs to pin down. He's doing better than almost any pro se litigant that we see. We have to tell him that via our chat. Also, thanks, Kevin. It's coming up. I'm not hiding him. I don't hide them. I post them all over OnlyFans. I just have to follow YouTube Daddy's rules. You know how it goes. But thank you so much. Come on, Streamlabs. I got 2 notices up before you did 1. Why? Just why? Also, there's no shame in her being a dancer, just like there's no shame in me having an OnlyFans. There's no shame in the hustle or the game, ma'am. You just say it, okay? You have to own it when you do it, and that's okay. So, like, that's a fine thing. What you can't do is pretend like he wouldn't allow you to work and then also pretend like you paid for everything. This is an insane hearing, MB, and believe me, I got literally 2 more almost as insane as this one today. One case we've seen part of, and then one, a whole brand new case. Went off the rails, judge threatening to put people in contempt for their testimony. We got a good weekend ahead of us. You. All right. And thank you. Did it ever pop up? Are we still waiting? Oh my fucking god, Streamlabs. Or did it pop up? I don't think it did. Oh my god. So embarrassed. Thank you. Finally. Jesus Christ. That's right. There ain't no shame in that game at all. Not at all. It's just so fucking frustrating when but she's lying about things. That's the difference, you know? That's the difference. And yeah, well, we get to sleep in on a Saturday. Tomorrow's Saturday. Woo!
You just stated you weren't working, Miss McKediak.
I wasn't working in December.
Okay.
So I worked until you got out of K-Pep, John. And then when you got out of K-Pep and moved into the house, I no longer could work.
All right, so let's go into the house. You stated Mr. McKediak destroyed everything. What was the shape of the house when Mr. McKediak was arrested in 2021?
It was beautiful. It was so gorgeous. It was like a mansion. I loved it.
And so everything being destroyed at the house, but when I was arrested and you moved in, correct? Everything was remodeled and refurnished, brand new.
No, it was like that. It's like that now.
But you said the house was destroyed.
It was.
And everything burned and broke. But
yes.
You just said it was beautiful and gorgeous.
It was when you moved in, and then when you moved out, you destroyed everything.
So the house wasn't remodeled and refurnished.
Yes, I refurnished and remodeled everything. Yes.
Okay, you did it.
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. McKediak, one question before I turn it over to your attorney for redirect. You said that you did receive Social Security for Brantley.
Yes.
How much do you receive per month for him?
I get $496.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Smith, any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. So just a couple of questions, Mrs. McKediak. So, Mr. McKediak asked about the condition of the home when he moved in or when he was released from prison. I just want to clarify, in 2019, when the two of you were married in October, where did you reside? Where did the both of you reside?
2019, I lived here. He was at KPEP until December 4th of 2024. Or 2020, I mean, I'm sorry, December 4th of 2019. I mean,
So Mr. McKediak was released from KPEP in December of 2019.
yes, he got out of prison in July 17th of 2019. We were married October 22nd of 2019. Then he moved into the house to my home um, December 4th of 2019. So he got out of prison. His tenure stayed July 17th of 2019. We were married October 22nd, 2019. And then December 4th, he then moved into the house.
Okay. And how long did Mr. McKediak reside in the home at 230 East Kingman once he moved in December of 2019?
9 months.
So when you testified that Mr. McKediak destroyed the home, did this destruction take place in that 9-month span, or when did he destroy the home?
Yes, it took place in the 9 months before he ended up going to prison for violation of um, his parole, or they call it supervised release for federal.
So Mr. McKediak lived in the home from December 2019 until around September 2020. That's
Yeah,
about a month.
yeah.
Okay. And during after that 9 months, has he resided in the home since then?
No.
So Mr. McKediak asked you about police kicking in the back door of the home and you coming in to take some belongings.
Yeah.
When did that incident occur?
Well, that's what he's talking about like me going to mom and dad's. It's like he had changed the door locks on me, and I hadn't moved out or anything. And I went to go home one night, and he was cheating on me, and had some girl there and changed the door locks, and so. And I was watching him. I had called the police, and um, he was selling my stuff on Facebook, like had people like moving my stuff out of the house. And so the officers, when I finally, they showed up, because they took a couple of hours to show up to the call because they said they were dealing with a shooting or something. So the officer made sure, like, like, this is your house or whatever. So the officer and myself, there was officers at the front door, officers at the back door. We took a shovel and broke the window and got in the back door because he wanted to open the door so I could grab a few clothes and belongings, because I had nothing for me or my child, and that's all that I had taken. And then he got really upset because I took a tattoo machine that I had purchased.
Hold a second, ma'am. Her question was, when did this occur? And
Okay.
you've talked for about 2+ minutes on everything except when this occurred. So give us a date when this occurred, when the police were there and you got into the home.
Okay, that was in February
February of what?
of 2020.
So when you called the police to your home to get in and get some of your belongings, that was February 2020?
Yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, I would like to introduce a video of the incident after the incident where Miss McKediak called the police, and subsequently, after she was able to retrieve items from her home, Mr. McKediak continued to sell her
Okay,
belongings on
ma'am,
Facebook.
all I need to know, you want to introduce something. What is, I don't
Yes.
need a narrative from you either.
It's just a video, Your Honor.
Okay, and has that been properly disclosed as per the case scheduling order?
It was not, Your Honor. It was recently received as evidence, but Mr. McKediak stated that he did have knowledge of the video during his cross of Miss McKediak.
I don't care what he had knowledge of, it was not disclosed as a potential exhibit. The case scheduling order dated March 20, 2024 states that exhibits and witness lists will be disclosed within 21 days after the first mediation date. The mediation date was in June of 2024, and there's been no disclosure even up to this date of any potential exhibits. So based upon that, the court will not allow the introduction of exhibits that were not properly disclosed.
That's fine, Your Honor. I was not retained until after that scheduling order. Miss McKediak,
That's true, but you were retained in July of 2024 and have not filed anything to seek to get a late or delayed exhibit.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Miss McKediak, after you retrieved items from your home, in reference to the incident in February of 2020, did Mr. McKediak continue to destroy the home and destroy other, more of your property?
He destroyed everything and he sold all the kids' clothes, all the kids' belongings, everything. And that's what's in that video.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McKediak, do you have any questions? And it only pertain to the redirect, not to anything that's from before, only that Ms. Smith has brought up on redirect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Ms. McKediak, weren't you suspect in breaking and entering of the house at 230 East Kingman while Mr. McKediak was in jail?
No.
So, Ms. McKediak, you didn't break out the back window of the house on 230 Kingman while I was incarcerated and remove my dogs?
No.
Okay. And then at a later date, you didn't kick in the back door, run through the house, and let 2 officers in to let you remove all your property and Mr. McKediak's?
No.
And, no? Okay. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Smith, any additional witnesses or evidence?
No, Your Honor.
Do you rest?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. McKediak, you have an opportunity, court, they've rested, the court will give you an opportunity to have rebuttal, meaning you can do additional testimony if you wish to do so.
No, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Being no rebuttal, then the proofs are in this case. Mr. McKediak, you can make a closing argument if you wish to do so.
Yeah, I really, I just want it over.
Okay, thank you. Smith, any closing argument?
Yes, Your Honor. I would just say that in addition to granting the divorce, the defendant in the matter would just ask that a parenting time order be entered for Mr. McKediak to have supervised parenting with the minor child Brantley, as there has been testimony that Ms. McKediak is concerned that Mr. McKediak would not be able to adequately provide their son's needs, as he is special needs, autistic, nonverbal, and also has hearing issues. Mr. McKediak has not had much of a relationship with his child, unfortunately, due to incarceration and it's just seemingly not having much interest in the child since his release. We would also ask, Your Honor, that Ms. McKediak be awarded spousal support, since Mr. McKediak was the sole provider for the home for Ms. McKediak and both of her children after their child was born. Mr. McKediak made statements alluding to the fact that he did provide financially for Mrs. McKediak during that time. And since Mrs. McKediak testified that currently she is not working consistently and receives $496 a month in Social Security and also child support, which is not being paid, she does not have the funds to adequately care for all of Brantley's outside needs that are not covered by Medicaid, primarily his clothing, seeing as how he is a larger child due to some of his medical conditions for a 4-year-old, his special diapers and pull-ups that he needs, and any other special requirements he has while in the home. There's testimony that Mrs. McKediak had the home at 230 East Kingman prior to the marriage. We would just ask that she is able to keep her premarital property, as Mr. McKediak is also able to keep his premarital property, and that any marital property that was purchased during the time of the marriage is just divided adequately and equally between the parties. Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Thank you. Well, that concludes the proofs and the argument in this particular case. The court has a number of issues to decide, but first the court will find, based upon the testimony, is very clear that, in fact, the statutory basis has been met, that the parties have testified both that there's a breakdown of the marital relationship, so the court will grant the divorce in this matter. Court will note in all the testimony that credibility is always a consideration. Oftentimes the parties will allege that one party.
Dad is not the defendant. Dad is the moving party. Her counter petition asked for spousal support, but if you heard, she said that we want the defendant, or he was the moving party, as far as I'm aware. What do we think is going to happen? The statutory thing has been met, so let's just continue listening and we'll see what happens. I love that he does his stuff on the record.
Party or the other is not truthful or is even lying. However, the court finds that much testimony and inconsistent testimony occurs because individuals haven't necessarily lied, but it's based upon their backgrounds, perception, bias, understanding, misunderstanding, or simply by mistake. When the court is confronted by inconsistent testimony, the court attempts to determine if it can be reconciled by other testimony or evidence.
They may
In this case, clearly there was conflicting testimony in this case, and much of the conflicting testimony even remained conflicting and confusing after at least the court attempted to
I apologize. He was not the maybe he was the moving party in the TRO originally that he filed. These guys have been in court 3 times at least. I don't know if all the cases are enjoined or what, but and so I don't know. I guess he is in the defendant's position in terms of how they presented the case today. So perhaps I'm wrong on that. But he did file a counter. There was a counter petition. I'm pretty positive there was. Anyways, just shut up, please.
reconcile that particular testimony. Court will note that as it relates to issues of property, there's basically the court can, pursuant to MCL 552.19, can restore the real and or personal property to either party which they in fact brought into the marriage. The court can also, pursuant to MCL 552.401, can award property owned by another if it's equitable, etc. Court has to further, in these matters, determine further what is the property that each of the parties brought into the marriage, and if the court can in fact then restore that to the parties, the court will do so. In this case, there's been very little testimony about property and very little testimony about any value of property. In fact, we've heard no testimony as to the value of the property. There is testimony about the home at, I think it's 230 East Kingman in Battle Creek, that in fact there was testimony that the parties had some interest in that. The defendant testified that she owned that property prior to the marriage, and there was, through cross-examination by the plaintiff, that again, that this property was owned by an Adam Woodson, that he owned it, that the...
See, he just said cross-examination by the plaintiff. Good night, Vicky. Vince, I think I am right. I think he is the petitioner. I'm going back on it. I'm right.
Defendant stated that she purchased that on land contract prior to the marriage in this matter. It does appear, based upon the testimony, that the parties were married on or about October 22nd, 2019. Through the testimony of the defendant, she stated that the plaintiff moved into the residence at approximately December 4th, 2019. And then by her testimony, she stated the parties separated in February of 2020. So we have, notwithstanding, we have a very short-term marriage of maybe only a matter of months in this particular case. There's been testimony about various vehicles the parties own, but there's been no testimony about who has what vehicles at the current time. There's been no testimony about any value of the vehicles or any payments on the vehicles during the marriage, only that they somehow acquired these vehicles. There were 2 that apparently the defendant has, and she had acknowledged that there was 1 vehicle that the plaintiff had. The court will, in this matter, award to the defendant the real estate at 230 East Kingman, Battle Creek, Michigan, free and clear of any claim, right, or title of interest on the part of the plaintiff. He stated in his opening statement that he had no issue or no claim or no desire to receive any property. And he kind of reiterated that on his testimony as well, notwithstanding the confusion over this other land contract that may exist or may have been recorded in this particular matter. So the court will award that to her, free and clear of that claim. The court will also award to the parties any vehicles that they own have in their possession, free and clear of any claim, right, title of interest on the part of the other party, and then each party is responsible for any indebtedness encumbering any vehicle that they receive. The court would further order that the parties would be entitled to any and all property that they each have in their respective possessions, not otherwise addressed herein. The issue there has been raised as to the parenting time issue. The plaintiff has testified that, as he stated, he doesn't have any relationship with Brantley because the child's been kept from him. It's been acknowledged that Brantley is autistic. He goes to an autistic therapy or autistic school that has, in fact, recently started in this matter. That, in fact, he goes Monday through Fridays from 8 to 4, and that again, different times when Mr. Mikidiak was not incarcerated, he didn't have much of a relationship with the child in this case. Parenting time is governed by MCL 722.27A at SEC. In this matter, and the court has to look at the best interest of the child, and I have to look at the factors that may be in dispute. The first factor is the special circumstances and needs of the child. Clearly, the child being autistic has special circumstances and needs. Second factor is whether the child is less than 1. He is not in this case. The court will not consider that. Next factor is the likelihood of abuse or neglect of a child during parenting time. There's been no testimony about that. The defendant stated she has concerns about that, but clearly he has not had the child in his care any particular amount of time such that that even could be reasonably inferred, so the court will not take that into consideration. Next is the likelihood of abuse of a parent during exercise of parenting time. Although obviously there's been no exercise parenting time, the court is concerned about the domestic violence that has occurred in the past in this case, and I'm taking that into consideration under other factors. Next is the inconvenience or burdensome impact of travel. There's parties both reside in the Battle Creek area. There's no burdensome impact of travel. Next is whether a parent would reasonably be expected to exercise court-ordered parenting time. There's been no court-ordered parenting time previously, so the court cannot evaluate that. But I would note that the plaintiff has not sought at this point any parenting time, so I'm considering that. Next factor is whether a parent's failed to exercise parenting time. Clearly, he has not exercised parenting time. He has not initiated proceedings to exercise parenting time, so the court is taking that into consideration. Next is any threat or actual detention of the child. There's been no allegation or no testimony about that. And then next is any other relevant factors. The other relevant factors is as acknowledged and admitted by the plaintiff himself, he doesn't have that relationship with the child. He has not had that. And clearly in this case, as Ms. Mikidiak had testified to, that Brantley has to remain on a pretty rigid routine schedule in these particular matters. And as a result, there is particular concerns in this regard. Based upon all of the testimony and all the factors that the court has to weigh, the court is going to grant to the plaintiff parenting time, but the court is going to, again, seek to have that phased in. The court will first order that parenting time will occur once per week for up to 1 hour per week, supervised by Family Children's Services. And that will be arranged between the parties and Family Children's Services, because I don't know the parties' schedules, nor do I know if Family Children's Services is capable of exercising it on that much of a routine basis of 1 hour per week. It'll be exercised, again, based upon the party schedules and whether they're able to get the child to and from Family Children Services for purposes of exercising that supervised parenting time. The court will order that that will occur on a weekly basis for a period of 6 months. And after the 6 months, it'll be up to the defendant to file a petition for a review of the parenting time. And the court then can take testimony at that point from whoever the supervisors would be at Family Children Services to determine whether that should be expanded at that time. Again, for 6 months, and then the court, again, if the defendant or the plaintiff does not bring it in for expansion, then it would continue be supervised for 1 hour through Family Children Services until such time as he initiates a review of the parenting time. Next, the court will look at the issue of spousal support. Spousal support is provided for pursuant to MCL 552.23. The court has to look at again the factors as provided for in Louts and Spears case, and the court has to look at, and I will look at the past relationship and conduct of the parties. I've already alluded to some of that that I'm taking into consideration. The court is looking at the length of the marriage, and as I stated, even in the best of scenarios, it looks like the length of the marriage was only about 4 months. When the parties did separate, they've not gotten back together since that time and have not, again, carried on a marital relationship since the approximate February of 2020 date, notwithstanding that there was nothing filed until, again, earlier this year by the plaintiff. Court looks at the ability of the parties to work. In this particular matter, the plaintiff is working, apparently is a tattoo artist. He's working in this particular regard. That there's not been any testimony, although he mentioned about what his W-2 stated. There's been no evidence as to the amount that he makes as far as income in this matter. He's not testified to it. The defendant did not testify. She testified at one point that he was making $20,000 to $30,000 per month in this case, but she had no evidence of it. Only she had stated that he had made some representations of that kind of money or something of that nature, but there's been no direct testimony as to the amount that he makes. The court can infer, because the court does note, as the testimony shows, that he is making child support payments of $698 per month. The court notes that that is based upon incomes of the parties. Clearly,
Wait, he's paying? She made it sound like he didn't pay his child support. Are you telling me he's been paying? The judge would rip into him if he's not paying. God damn it. Damn, she's a liar. Allegedly. In my opinion.
having been based upon the income of the parties, based upon that particular amount, there's no way that he's making anywhere near what has been alleged by the defendant if his support obligation is only the $698. The court would note that the defendant testified that she is working at Potter's Grove, that she is working sporadically, that she makes $27.50 per hour, that she has at times made up to $600 month average, since starting in August of 2023, but that it is sporadic as to how much she works, as she states, according to the, some of it's according to the dictates of the child, which again occurred before the child was routinely in therapy school for 5 days a week. So court would state that again should be able to be increased substantially because she is again has those approximate 40 hours a week that she could work where she is not at the current time. The court looks at the age of the parties. They've not testified as to what their ages were in this matter, but the court notes that they're not old in this matter, and therefore they have the ability to work. There's been no testimony about any physical disability, infirmities, or anything of that nature, meaning the health of the parties that would keep them from working. And so the court is taking into consideration that factor. The next is the ability to pay. As I alluded to, there's been very little, if any, testimony about the actual income of the parties. So the court doesn't have substantial evidence as to that. Next is the present situation of the parties. I think I've already alluded to that. That again, the parties are separated, have been separated since February of 2020. That effectively the defendant has been supporting herself during that time. After that time, the plaintiff had various bouts of incarceration and that. The defendant had testified as to her needs, but she has not testified as to any specifics concerning her needs, only that she had testified that she owed something as a result of therapy, et cetera, in addition to what Medicaid had paid in this matter. She testified that, again, the child needs clothing, et cetera, but she did not testify as to any amounts for any of those particular needs. And she had testified in this case that the support obligation was $698 per month, that she said that he pays sporadically, that he won't pay, and then all of a sudden he'll pay a lot. She testified that that she also received Social Security in the amount of $496 per month for the child, and as stated previously, she makes $27.50 per hour. The only specifics that she had stated for her expenses were gas of $120 per week to get the child back to and from school, and $200 for diapers and wipes on the child that she had to pay, but she has not testified to any other specific numbers for the expenses. Next, the court has to take into consideration the fall.
Smokes, bubbles. Ricky wants smokes. If anybody watches Letterkenny, by the way, you know J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys. He has a role in that. Very funny show. Hilarious.
Obviously, there was some, it appears, based upon really some more nebulous testimony that the defendant was at fault because of domestic violence, and the court is taking that into consideration. Next is prior standing living and is either responsible for the supports of others. I think I've addressed that as it relates to the minor child in this case. She does have another child in her care, and she had testified that the father in that case was routine and consistent in payment of support, so she does have support for that other child. Next is the contribution of the parties to the joint estate. There really is no joint estate in this particular matter. The court's not taking and giving much consideration to that. The next factor is effective cohabitation. Their parties have not testified that they're cohabitating with anyone else, so the court will not give much weight or any weight to that. Next is the general principles of equity. In this case, obviously, the court is struck by the absence of testimony as to factors that the court has to give weight to for purposes of spousal support. In view of all of the evidence in this particular matter, the court will make an award that the court believes is just and reasonable in this matter, taking into account all of the factors that the court is to consider based upon the extreme short-term marriage of approximately 4 months. The court does and will order that there would be no spousal support paid in this case, and it is forever barred.
Her lawyer did terribly, AKA.
With that, the court believes that I have addressed everything that the court needs to before I conclude. Mr. McKediak, because you are the plaintiff, you're responsible for drafting the judgment. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have not done so previously, there are services available. You can go to michiganlegalhelp.org. There are other online services. I'm not sure of the names. Courts always dealt pretty much with Michigan Legal Help, but there are others that are available that can help you prepare a proposed judgment in this matter, consistent with the court's ruling. I will tell you that this matter will remain on YouTube and will be available to you to review if you want to confirm the court's ruling. That'll be available for 30 days, at which time it is taken down.
But it will live forever on KCC's channel, and you can come and talk to us about it anytime you want. That's pretty much an open invitation that I have for anybody that I feature on the show. Send me an email if you want to explain yourself. We'll talk. But do not email me and try and guilt me into taking down your tragic divorce, because I don't usually do it. I really don't. Let's let the judge finish, but wow. This is honestly renewing a little bit of faith in humanity of the judge kind, you know?
And removed. Sir, is there anything you believe the court needs to address or has failed to address before we conclude?
No, sir.
Ms. Smith, do you believe that there's anything the court has failed to address or needs to address before we conclude?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. That will be the order of the court. Mr. McKediak, when you have that order completed, there are a number of other things that you have to include in this judgment. You have to include, again, issues concerning custody. You have not made a custody claim in any regard, and in fact, at the time of the case scheduling hearing, you stated that you were fine, and I think your pleadings state that she is a fit and proper person to have the care, custody, and control of the minor child, both legal and physical. So you're going to have to include that in the judgment as well, that the physical and legal custody is awarded to the defendant. So that's what you have to do. There's many other things that you have to include in a judgment, many standard provisions. That's why you need to go to a service that provides you with those particular requirements, and you'll need to check those. Some of those may seem to be irrelevant, but they are necessary, or the front of the court will object to your judgment. So when you get that judgment prepared, you can submit it to the friend of the court. So you'll submit the judgment of divorce, uniform, well, there is a uniform child support order in place. All you have to do is incorporate that by reference. And that there's a judgment information form. When you've prepared those, submit them to the front of the court. If you get objections, make sure you take care of the objections right away. And you can also submit those and should submit those to Ms. Smith. Any questions, Mr. McKediak?
No, sir.
Okay.
That's it. That's all she wrote. Vince is going to bed. I'm not going to bed, but we are done for the night. Don't forget, it looks like Jonathan, Drunk Beaver Productions, has a debut, a re-debut, tomorrow at 8 Eastern, which is 5 Pacific or Paisley time, that we shall definitely attend and try and support him. And then I will go live tomorrow. Probably, I don't know when. I can't make a commitment. I never can. I don't know how I'm gonna sleep. Okay? But tomorrow we have another 2-hour case. And then Sunday we have another 2-hour case. We have homework this weekend, folks. Anyways, thank you again all so much for your support. It means so much. It really does. And it is so entirely helpful. I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you for being here. Can you his premiere is over an hour? Oh, it's gonna be awesome. So I'll do mine before that, probably. Anyways, keep an eye out for live chases. I won't go live with them, but I like watching them, and I think you will too. Anyways, I love you, I am proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Ways down red.